Good morning. We should talk. So, how did I find myself blowing, just entirely blowing the September timeline? I'll tell you how that happened. Back in July, I had scheduled the drywaller, some final electrical work, some duct work that need to be done with the HVAC, and I was supposed to be hitting a September deadline. Hopefully just the flooring was going to be the only thing, and putting in the plate glass for the studio windows. It starts out with me getting the quotes from the drywallers. One guy came in and gave me a pretty steep quote, followed by another guy that stops in, gives me a roundabout ballpark estimate, but he had a bigger team, and I figured with a bigger team, you could finish a little bit quicker. We agree. I draw up the contract. He agrees to the contract. He agrees to the fee. I told him the first payment I pay in thirds, beginning, work in progress, final payment upon delivery. And the first day of work, he doesn't show. He just did not show up. So, my wife was like, well, why don't you just call this guy and see what's going on? I feel like this. Listen, we had an agreement. You stopped in twice. You gave me 2 quotes. You measured everything out. We agreed you were supposed to get your first payment on the first day of work. You decided to not show for the first day. So therefore, I'm not reaching out to you anymore. That's just totally unprofessional on so many levels, right? So, it's getting cold, and the HVAC guy says, listen, we got to get back in here because it's starting to get cold. Pretty soon we won't be able to test the system, charge it up, et cetera, et cetera. So therefore, I found myself becoming the drywall guy. Now, I didn't have that much to do, but I had enough to do in that we just had to just close up a couple of walls. I had to tape, which is the last thing I really like to do is tape as well. Not tape, drywall tape and spackle nails. I had the help of my son over the summer because he's an educator, so he's out from school at that time. So we were able to cover a lot of ground by August. Of course, family stuff pops up. My wife has to go and see about her mother, so we lose some time there. Fast forward to now, I'm just about done. All of the ductwork is in. All of the HVAC is totally done. The heat works. The AC works in all of the rooms. I'm happy with that. Now I'm faced with just doing the drywalling. And on today's agenda, I have to tape the inside corners of what's the base trap. So in a minute, I'm going to take you guys on a little bit of a tour. We'll see what that is. I'm using the closet, or what would be considered on the blueprint, the closet, as a base trap. You're going to be wondering, well, how the heck are you going to do that? I'm going to show you. Stick around. So I'm vlogging with this thing. Oh my, a DJI Osmo Pocket 3. Remarkable. You know what? It keeps me from having to set up a whole lot of stuff just to stay in touch. So that's what I'm doing, all right? But let's go downstairs real quick, all right? And I'm going to put on my Susie shoes, all right? And yeah, so as we head on downtown, today's plan is to tackle what's going to be the base trap. Now, how the heck am I building the base trap out of there? You guys know base waves are very, very large waves. This is a corner, but it also serves as a closet on the blueprint. Okay, so what I intended to do is finish out the closet, but at the same time, acoustically treat the closet to this huge gap will accept a large wave, which base waves are, very large waves. Not only that, because the inside of it I don't know if you can see, guys can see inside real quick. See, it's a little unfinished. But the inside of it is going to be acoustically treated with some mass. Bass needs mass. So I'm going to put a lot of mass in there in order to, along with other things, obviously. Mass along with, everything else that goes in the closet. You know what I mean? I can't say really what's going in there yet. But anyway, you can only imagine cables and all the other paraphernalia that you have in a studio setup. Okay, so today we are finishing up this wall. How I did all the work up here with the taping. We have to do what's called taping. Tape all these seams. Move this out of the way. Tape all these seams. I already did the corner beads. Tape the inside corners. And then tape the ceiling as well. Then that's done. Okay. So I'm going to put, I forgot to tell you all. There is a console under here. We'll talk about that soon. But let's get started, okay? So, dirty hands and all, the wall has been fully taped, corner beads are in, the framing for the bass trap / closet is all done. That's it. Next steps are, there's going to be more framing that has to go on the outside because I'm building the acoustical treatment into the structure itself. The preliminary test that I did on the room when the walls weren't in showed a huge standing wave at the left side of the room. So it's going to be a little bit more of a heavy bass trap on the left side than the right. With this big structure here, hopefully that'll mitigate any bass, build up into this corner. But from the general mix position, everything sounds great. Even in its untreated state before the walls actually went up, the room sounded quite decent. So I'm happy with that. In the next couple of episodes, you'll see me doing that, which is framing out the walls for the acoustical treatment to go into the wall, as well as talking about the usage of Cat 5 throughout the entire studio. So I have Cat 5 wiring all the way throughout, which is going to carry the audio. We'll talk about that in a future episode. So until then, stay well, be kind to your fellow neighbor, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.